Hey lovelies, I hope you are well. Welcome to my channel. I am Amy if you have never practiced with me before. If you are one of those lovely people who is here every week, then welcome back. This video is for Risa, who requested a full body deep stretch class. So here you go, Risa. I hope you enjoy it. If you have not already subscribed to my channel, I would be really grateful if you could take a second to do so. If you make it to the end of this class and you enjoyed it, then take a second to hit the like button to let me know I should make more like it. And just like the person who requested this video, you can comment with any thoughts and with any requests for future videos. It's definitely going to be a chilled out one, so as you can see, I'm in my cozy clothes. I've even got my slippers on, so get yourself into something comfortable. If I wasn't filming, I would definitely be in my dressing gown. So, beginning in a child's pose today, getting straight into the hips, the chest, the shoulders, bringing the big toes to touch, bringing the knees wide, sinking the belly down towards the earth. Options with the arms are to extend them straight out in front of you, or you can stack one hand on top of the other, creating a little pillow for your head to rest on. Take a little moment to wiggle around, feel into the hips. If you've got the arms extended, you might dip the shoulders down towards the earth. Just take a few moments, get yourself settled, comfortable. Get out those niggles and wiggles and jiggles. And then once you've worked through some movement, bring yourself into stillness. So the body is still, but the breath is flowing in and out through the nose if that feels comfortable. You might notice the sound of the breath. Being close to the mat might help you hear it more clearly than usual. You might even feel it bouncing back off the earth towards you. You might feel the breath moving in and out of the nostrils, feeling slightly cooler on the way in and slightly warmer on the way out. You might feel the belly filling up with air on every inhale, rising closer towards the earth. And as you breathe out, you might notice the belly emptying, drawing the navel back up towards the spine. Imagining your belly is like a balloon maybe that's inflating and deflating with every breath. Trying to make the inhales and the exhales roughly similar in length. Taking soft, slow, smooth, deep breaths. And if you notice any areas in the body that are still holding on to tension, you might direct the breath there. Soak up some of that tension with your breath and send it back out of the body with your exhale, just softening and melting into this moment. Take a few more deep breaths here on your own before we begin to move. As you are ready, start to press the chest up ever so slightly. Extend the arms out long if they're not already. Then start to walk the hands over to the left hand side. Stack the right hand on top of the left. Draw the right hip and the right shoulder back down towards the mat. Bringing the awareness to the right side of the body. Take 3 deep breaths here, opening that right lung, the right rib cage, the right obliques. Using the breath to intensify the stretch as you send it into the body. One more breath here. As you're ready, start to walk the hands back through centre and take them over to the other side, stacking left hand on top of right, drawing that left hip and the left shoulder down towards the earth, filling the left side of the body with your breath. And letting something go with every exhale, softening down a little bit more. As you're ready, coming back through centre, start to walk the hands up towards the body. Keep the knees wide if that feels comfortable. On your next breath in, sweep both arms all the way up to the sky. And your next breath out, left hand comes onto the right knee, right fingertips come out behind, or you might wrap that right hand around the left hip, maybe the left inner thigh. Keeping length through the spine, stacking head over heart over hips. As you inhale, reach the crown of the head even higher up to the sky, and as you exhale, take that twist a little bit deeper. On your next breath in, unwind, sweep both arms up. My voice is going weird. And your next breath out, take it over to the other side. Inhale to lengthen, exhale to deepen. Deep breath in, sweep both arms all the way up to the sky. Deep breath out, start to walk the hands to the top of the mat. Start to snake the thighs and the hips down towards the earth, dropping into an upward facing dog / high cobra position. Finding a baby micro bend in the elbows here. Inhale, gazing higher up towards the sky. Exhale, lowering the chest down towards the earth. Inhale, press the floor away. Lift the chest, draw the shoulders back. Exhale, soften everything down. One more time, fill the lungs, shine the heart forward, and empty the lungs, soften the heart down. Bring the forearms onto the mat, stacking the shoulders above the elbows, creating parallel lines with the forearms. Drawing the shoulder blades down and back as you pull the heart through, shining the chest forwards. Inhale here. Exhale, gaze over the left shoulder, back towards the left toes, stretching through the right side of the neck. And come back through centre. Inhale here. Exhale, take it over to the other side. Inhale back through centre, drop the chin down towards the chest, take some neck rolls here, going from one side to the other in a half moon shape. Maybe pausing at any areas that feel particularly tense or tight. And just take a moment in the centre, letting the chin really draw in towards the chest. Extend the right arm all the way off to the right hand side. Arm can be straight or you can cactus the arm. Start to roll over, lifting the left hip off the mat. You can bend the left knee and stamp the left foot over the other side of the right leg. You can use that left hand to push you towards that right arm. Play around with the positioning of that right arm, whether it's further towards the top of the mat, down towards the bottom of the mat, whether the arm is bent or straight, how far you've got that left leg up and over. Just finding what feels good for you, settling in for a few deep breaths. Start to unwind back through centre. Keep that left knee bent. Start to draw the left knee up and in towards the left elbow or the left armpit. Bring the arms back into your Sphinx position for a half frog pose. Look across to your left knee. Make sure the knee is in line with the ankle. You can draw the knee further up towards the body for a deeper stretch, or take it further back towards the back of the mat for a less intense stretch. Up to you. You could also lift the elbows off the mat, pressing the floor away. This might change the sensation, it might bring it into different places in the body. You could have a little wiggle around here. You could find stillness. You could come all the way down onto your forehead, maybe resting it on your hands. Just playing around in our half frog pose, finding what feels good. If you came down onto your forehead, press yourself up for a moment. Press the floor away with the left hand, lift that left elbow, thread the right hand underneath the left elbow, place the right hand on the left knee, drop the right shoulder down, roll over onto your back, landing in a supine twist. Lift the chest just slightly to create space to spin the left shoulder further down towards the earth before softening the back body down onto the mat. You can extend the left arm out to the side, maybe straight, maybe cactus. You could extend the right arm, or you could keep it there on the left knee. You could gaze to the right, you could gaze to the left, you could gaze up to the sky. Lots and lots of options here. As you are ready, start to extend that left leg straight out to meet the right, roll back onto your belly, unwind that right arm, and this time extend the left arm out to the side. Arm can be bent or cactus. Start to roll that right hip up and over, maybe stamping the foot towards the earth. Hopefully I'm not crushing my microphone too much here, that it's affecting the sound. I guess we'll soon find out. Settle in here for a few deep breaths. Notice how this side maybe feels different from the other side. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. Just bringing your awareness. Sending the breath into any sensations that you're feeling. And as you're ready, start to unwind, bringing that right knee up with you, bringing it up towards the elbow, the armpit, or maybe further towards the back of the mat. planting both forearms for a half frog sphinx situation, taking any variation that you like on this side, maybe pressing the floor away to lift the elbows, maybe coming all the way down onto the chest and the forehead. The option is yours. If you are down on your forehead, press yourself back up, lift the right elbow off the mat, thread the left arm through to grab hold of the right knee, roll over onto your back, supine twist. Taking any of those variations with the arms and with the face. With the head and the neck is maybe what I should say. And you can just lift the chest, lift the back body, swivel those shoulders down towards the earth and then soften back down. As you're ready, extend that right leg out to meet the left, roll back onto your belly, back into Sphinx pose. If it feels good, you can stay here, or you can press the floor away, lift both elbows off the mat for seal pose. This might feel very intense in the lower back. If it causes any compression or pinching or pain, then do not go there. Notice if the shoulders are hunching by the ears, can you soften them down? And lower that chest back to the earth. Slide the hands underneath the shoulders, ground down through the knees, press yourself up into a tabletop position and start to walk the hands forwards to the front of the mat, sinking the chest down towards the earth. If you have blocks here, you can grab them, place one block underneath each hand at any height, creating a bit more space between your chest and the earth to help intensify that stretch in the shoulders. You might dip one armpit at a time down towards the ground. You might wiggle the hips from side to side. Just finding some free movement here, finding what feels good. If you've not got blocks, you could come up onto the fingertips, or you can just have the hands flat on the floor if that works for you. Anahatasana, melting heart pose, also called puppy pose, Uttana Shishona. If you've got blocks, just release the hands from them and shimmy them off to the side. Keep the right arm extended, thread the left arm underneath the right, come onto left ear and left shoulder, sweep the right arm up towards the sky, option to thread that right arm around the left hip or the left inner thigh. Using that grip on the hip or the leg to help you swivel the chest even higher up to the sky. Unwind, plant that right hand back towards the top of the mat, bring the left arm down to meet the right and thread the right arm underneath the left. Come onto the opposite side. Option to send that left arm up to the sky and then thread it around for the right hip or the right thigh. Really drawing that left shoulder open, stretching through the chest and the side body, twisting through the spine. Unwind, plant that left hand to the top of the mat, extend the right arm, and then start to walk the hands so they're underneath the shoulders, tabletop position, stacking shoulders over elbows, over wrists, hips over knees. Have a little wiggle through the hips, have a little wiggle through the spine, maybe move through some cat-cow, maybe move through some circles with the torso. You don't have to make a particular shape. You don't have to move in a particular way. Just find some free movement that feels good in your body right now. Start to walk the hands back towards the knees, tuck under the toes. Now is the time for me to take off my slippers. But if you've got socks on, you could keep socks on by all means. Sitting yourself down on top of the heels, tucking under all 10 toes, maybe using the fingers to help you ensure that each toe is in contact with the earth. Finding a nice tall spine, stacking head over heart over hips, and just feeling into that stretch in the soles of the feet. Maybe have a little wiggle from side to side to take the stretch across each toe, intensifying it as you move your weight from side to side. And let's do a little bonus stretch for the upper body while we're here. Bring the right hand out, start to press the thumb back towards the arm, the fingers, each one at a time, just stretching them back. And then flip the palm, so the right hand, the palm is facing up to the sky like you're holding your hand out for someone to put something nice on it, and then start to press that hand towards the front of the mat, drawing the fingers back using the left hand, stretching through the forearm here. Release, give that hand a little shake, bring the right elbow up to the sky, the right hand pressing in between the shoulder blades. You could grab hold of the top of the right elbow using the left arm, or you could reach behind for that clasp. Maybe you grab using a strap, or you grab hold of whatever top you are wearing. If you've got that clasp, pull the right elbow up to the sky, draw the left elbow down towards the earth, and play around with the location of that right elbow, moving it from side to side until you find that deepest stretch. Release, draw the right arm across the body, hook over it with the left arm and pull that right shoulder down and in, stretching across the right tricep, the front of the shoulder, and release. Give it a little shake and take it over to the left, pulling back the thumb and each finger back towards that hand. Flip the palm up to the sky, bring the right hand onto the fingers, push that left wrist forward as you pull the left fingertips back. Release, give it a little shake, bring the left elbow up to the sky, either grab hold of the elbow or bring the right arm down and behind, grabbing that clasp, Gomukhasana arms. Taking the option that enables you to keep your chest nice and lifted, nice and open. And yes, we're still feeling into the toes here. You can lift the hips off the heels at any time if it gets too much. Release that left arm, bring it across the body, hook hold of it with the right arm. And release. Give the arms a shake, plant the hands on the mat, untuck the toes, give them a gentle little wiggle, gentle, 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 maybe tap them on the earth, let the blood come back into the feet, maybe give the ankles some circles going in both directions. Now sit the bum back down on the heels, toes are not tucked anymore. Start to rock the weight back, lifting the knees off the mat. Hands can stay on the mat for support. Squeeze those thighs together. Option here is to bring the hands to heart center, putting even more of the weight into the shins. Really big stretch for the fronts of the legs here. And release back down. Once again, come to tabletop, take some circles, take some wiggles, whatever you need to release from that stretch. Come to your neutral tabletop position, stacking those shoulders over those wrists, those hips over those knees. On your next breath in, extend the right leg straight out behind you and then bend the right knee, drawing the heel in towards the glute. Start to take some big circles with that right knee going in one direction and then switch directions. Draw the right knee up and in towards the right elbow or the right armpit and then step the right foot to the outside of the right hand. Left knee staying down on the mat here in our lizard pose. You can roll onto the outside edge of that right foot, just making sure you're not collapsing through the ankle. So we want a nice solid foundation here, keeping a nice line from the heel to the toes. Have a moment here, wiggle around, feeling into the hips. Option to stay upright or to come down onto the forearms, maybe interlace the fingers. And settle in for some deep breaths here in our lizard. If you're down on the forearms, come back up onto the hands, stay here or start to draw the left heel in towards the left glute, swing the right hand around for that left foot, grab hold of it, start to draw it in towards the body. You might just draw it in a few centimetres, a few inches, it might make it all the way in towards the glute. Notice if you're locking out that left elbow, try and find a little micro bend. And notice if that right shoulder is hunching up by the right ear, try and find a little bit of space. If you've got the grip on the foot, release it, start to walk the right foot back towards the centre line, hands are framing that foot, start to send the hips back towards the heel, straightening the right leg, stay here in the standard half splits or sit the bum all the way down onto the earth, sliding that right heel back, bringing the left heel to the outside of that left hip, so in a half hero pose with the left leg, in a half fold, well it's not a forward fold, half staff pose with the right leg, and then we're going to forward fold. So inhale, sweep the arms all the way up, exhale, start to fold down over that right leg. Make sure that the right foot is nice and active, so you're flexing the toes back towards your face here. If this feels like too much in that left knee, you can come into Janu Shirsasana, bringing the sole of the left foot to the right inner thigh. Once again, just having a moment to wiggle around before settling in for some stillness. With every exhale, can you soften a little bit more into the stretch? Draw a deep breath in as you draw yourself back upright. Start to rock yourself back forwards into that low lunge position. Start to bring the right foot in towards the left hip, the right knee next to the right wrist, pigeon pose, Ekapada Raja Kapotasana. Take a moment here in this upright position and then start to walk the hands forwards. You might fold down over that right leg. I actually find I can get a deeper stretch if I stay upright and press the floor away with my hands to help me press that right hip down in towards the earth. So maybe just play around with that, see how it feels, and if you want to come down and chill out, you are welcome to do so. Two more breaths here. Press the floor away, bring yourself back upright, roll your weight onto your right hip, turn to face the long left side of the mat, point the left toes up towards the sky, draw the right heel in towards the groin, bring the left hand onto the right knee, start to sweep the right arm all the way up and over. It might reach towards the left toes. Maybe you come for those toes, maybe you're nowhere near. Either way is absolutely fine and valid. Make it work for you in your body. You could bring the left forearm down onto the mat instead of grabbing hold of that right knee. If you are grabbing hold of the toes, make sure you're not collapsing the chest down towards the earth. Keep that right shoulder in line with that right hip. As you're ready, start to come all the way back up. Bring the left hand onto the right knee if it's not already. Start to walk the right fingertips out behind, coming into a twist, maybe binding around that left thigh. Unwind from the twist, maybe take a baby counter twist in the other direction. Keep the right leg as it is. Bring the sole of the left foot to meet the sole of the right foot. Baddha Konasana. Hands can wrap around the toes, the feet, the ankles, whatever feels good. As you breathe in, lift the chest, draw the shoulders back. As you breathe out, start to hinge forward, keeping the spine nice and long. Pressing the elbows into the thighs maybe. You might release the head all the way down towards the earth. Bringing your awareness into the sensations in the hips. One side might feel different from the other, seeing as we've done our pigeon on one side and we haven't done the other side yet. Deep breath in, draw yourself back upright, roll yourself back into a tabletop facing the front of the mat. Have a little wiggle with the hips, have a little wiggle through the spine, letting go of anything that just happened on that side as we move on to the other side. Inhale, extend that left leg straight out behind you, bend the knee, heel comes into the glute, and we take big circles with that left knee going in one direction, keeping the weight evenly distributed through each hand. Switch direction of the circles. Draw that left knee up and in towards the armpit or the elbow. Step the left foot to the outside of the left hand. Get yourself nice and comfortable here. Maybe you roll onto the outside edge of that left foot. Maybe you have a little wiggle through the hips. Maybe you come all the way down onto the forearms. Settling in for some juicy, deep breaths in your lizard. I always forget what the Sanskrit for lizard pose is, so if you can remember it, maybe drop it in the comments to remind me. Can you keep your breath soft and steady even if there are intense sensations going on in the body? If you're down on the forearms, press yourself back up onto the hands, bend the right heel in towards the right glute, sweep the left arm around, grab hold of that right foot, start to draw it in towards the body. Maybe you draw it in a little bit, maybe you draw it in a lot. It does not matter as long as it feels good in your body. I'm looking out of the window and I can see a nice sunset, so hopefully the sky is nice wherever you are at the moment as well. If you've got the grip on the foot, release it. Start to walk the left foot in towards the centre. Straighten the left leg, send the hips back in space. Stay in your half split, or keep sliding that left heel back. Sit the bum to the inside of that right foot. Half hero, half staff pose. Deep breath in, arms reach up to the sky. Deep breath out, arms reach forward in the direction of that left foot, but they don't have to be anywhere near. They could be near the thigh, they could be near the calf. Even as you soften into this shape, try and keep that left foot nice and active to protect your joints, to protect your muscles. Take a deep breath in, draw yourself back upright, slide yourself back forward into your low lunge, maybe gracefully, maybe not. Bring the left heel in towards the right hip, left knee next to the left wrist, and just feel into your pigeon. You'll likely need to draw the left hip back and the right hip forward slightly to get them nice and even. Maybe you press the floor away to help you root down through that left hip. Maybe you come down into the fold. Maybe you spend a bit of time in each of those shapes. And we'll be here for a good while, so get comfy. Two more breaths. Take a big deep breath, press yourself back upright, roll onto that left hip, swivel the right toes to point up towards the sky. Bring the right hand onto the left knee, sweep the left arm up and over in the direction of that right foot. Big deep breaths into the left side of the body. Unwind yourself, right hand onto left knee if it's not already. Left hand comes out behind, or maybe it hooks around for the right inner thigh. Deep breath in to lengthen, deep breath out to deepen into the twist. Unwind, take that baby counter twist in the other direction. This time, instead of bringing the soles of the feet together, extend the left leg straight out to the side, coming into Upavista Konasana. Your legs might look like this, they might look like this, they might look somewhere in between those two shapes. You don't have to look anything like me. You might look completely different from the last time you gave this pose a try. It all varies from person to person and from day to day. Have a little moment to just sway around from side to side, and maybe as you sway you start to lower the chest closer and closer towards the earth. I would encourage you to think about drawing the stomach down before drawing the chest down. This will help you keep a nice long spine, preventing you from rounding as you come down. If you've got cushions or a bolster, you might put that underneath your chest. And as you do lower down, make sure that the toes and the knees stay pointing up towards the sky rather than rolling in. And once again, we will settle in for some deep breaths, feeling into the sensations. The longer you stay in this pose and the more you release with every exhale, the more you might find you're able to soften down and move a little bit deeper if that is what you feel like doing. As you are ready, press yourself back up to an upright position. Swing the right leg around to meet the left. Inhale, sweep both arms all the way up to the sky. Exhale, fold down over the legs, keeping a long spine, so prioritizing the length rather than the depth. Really draw the chest forward and draw the shoulders back. Imagine like you could point the tailbone towards the back of the mat rather than pointing it down towards the earth. Keep the legs nice and active here. As always, flexing those toes back. If you have got the grip on the feet, you might use the hands to give yourself a little foot massage. Just like we did stretching the fingers before, you can do the same thing with the toes, pulling them back towards the tops of the feet. Sending the breath into wherever you feel the sensations. You might feel it more down the backs of the legs, the upper back, the lower back. All depends on where you are carrying the tension in your body based on the way that you live your life. as you're ready, start to release back upright. Roll down onto your back, hug the knees into the chest, and then rock yourself backwards and forwards a few times, building up a little bit of momentum, massaging through the spine. And then cross over the ankles, plant the hands, bring the knees back to the earth, tabletop. Now, what would a deep stretch class be without a good old frog pose? Start to walk the knees off the edges of the mat, keeping the knees in line with the hips, keeping the ankles in line with the knees, keeping the toes in line with the ankles. So lots of right angles here. Bring the forearms down onto the mat and just keep on walking those knees further and further apart. And as you walk them further away, keep adjusting the positioning of your legs so those points of alignment stay in place. Once again, as you settle into the pose, you might find that you're able to shimmy yourself a little bit deeper. Or maybe you don't, maybe you just stay upright. Again, you can bring support underneath the torso here. You might bring the forehead and the chest down onto the mat. Totally up to you. This is one of those poses where a little bit every day goes a long way. So if you're trying to get deeper into your frog pose, which you don't need to do, but if that is something that you feel like doing, then a little bit of time in frog pose every day. Maybe while you're scrolling through Instagram, you could do it from frog pose, slowly shimmying your way down. And this is one that is very hard to get out of, so maybe you make your way out gracefully, maybe you don't. However you need to get out of it, whatever you've got to do, come up to a tabletop, have a little wiggle through the hips. You might be feeling some intense sensations right now. That is absolutely normal. Just breathe, try and steady your breath. Sit down on the heels, swing those legs straight out in front of you, plant the soles of the feet on the earth, knees point up to the sky, fingertips reach out long, slowly, slowly, slowly lower yourself down onto your back. Hug those knees into the chest, give them a big squeeze, maybe reaching opposite fingertips, opposite wrists, opposite elbows. Just trying to keep the shoulders and the hips glued down onto the earth. Apanasana, knees to chest pose. Keeping both knees glued together, drop them over to one side. Let the arm go out long, coming into cactus arms or T, or keeping the hands on the knees. Once again, you might do that little lift with the chest to help you swivel both shoulders closer towards the earth. You might extend the top leg out straight and grab hold of it with the opposite arm. You might draw the bottom heel in towards the glute and again grab hold of the foot with the opposite hand. This is often called cat grabbing hold of its tail pose, which I find quite funny. You could take any version of a supine twist that you like. If you've got a favourite, go for it. whatever shape you're in, unwind, maybe have a little wiggle with the knees as you come back through center, and then drop them over to the other side. Gazing wherever is comfortable. Maybe you take that cat grabbing its tail variation, or whatever version of a supine twist you enjoy the most. Unwind back through center, and finishing off our practice with a happy baby, bringing the hands either to the inside or the outside edges of the feet, drawing the knees down towards the earth as you push the feet up towards the sky. Maybe have a little wiggle around, maybe straighten one leg at a time, maybe straighten both legs together for a little straddle moment. And then any other moves that are calling to you before making your way into whatever shape you feel like making for your Shavasana. That could be the traditional shape, it could be a Supta Baddha Konasana, it could be a constructive rest pose, you might even lie down on your side. All of what we've done so far has been a deep stretch for the body, and now Shavasana is like a deep stretch for our mind, giving it some time in stillness. Noticing any areas of the body that are still clinging onto tension, just letting the weight of the mat completely support you so that you can release and relax and soften. If you would like to stay in your Shavasana for longer, that is very much encouraged by me. If you are ready to move on, if you need to move on, start to bring some gentle movement back into the body, maybe wiggling the fingers and toes, maybe taking some circles with the ankles and the wrists, just wiggling around, bringing some life back into the body before gently, carefully making your way back to a comfortable seat. Sealing our practice with a deep releasing breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Thank you so much for choosing to share your practice with me today. I hope you are feeling all nice and open and stretched out. Like I said at the start, I would be very happy for any likes, any comments with any thoughts, any requests, and of course don't forget to subscribe so that you never miss a class from me, and hopefully we will be practicing together again very soon. I hope you have an amazing day. Bye.